Hello and welcome to Body Bags. My name is James and I'm your Sunday night reviewer. And this evening I'll be finishing up our theme week, which was indie films. So the one I've decided to do tonight is a Brett Piper film, maybe one of his better known ones, especially since it's just been, well, recently released by Vinegar Syndrome, and that is Battle for the Lost Planet or Galaxy, which is a micro budget horror-ish sci-fi film. So the film is set some point in the future, and we are following Harry, who is Harry Trent, who is played by Matt Mittler, and he's a secret agent, spy sort of thing, and he has got some sensitive documents, and he's been chased down. So that's where the film starts, and he finds a space shuttle and manages to escape, but damages the shuttle. And so he's having conversations with the computer, and basically he finds out that he's going to be stuck in space for like 5 years. So he's kind of freaking out. But then at that exact point as well, when he's just like left the atmosphere of Earth, you can see this fleet of hundreds of ships, and they're going to attack Earth, and nothing he can do but watch when they start attacking, and they're shooting and blowing everything up. And at this point, we have the ships when they're flying around. It's almost like there's a hand just out of view, and it's being flown around by the ship. The aliens are like these pig masks. It's like you can just see this piece of rubber over the face, and the ships are like, yeah, it's just a fairly basic mold of something. And when they're attacking the Earth, like all the silhouettes, city silhouettes, kind of just really basic cardboard cutouts. I mean, this is all part of the charm. It's like I said, this is micro budget, and it's just part of how it goes. But anyway, it's like he sees all that, and then he flies on past, and then it's really interesting. You're following him for a fair amount of time. I think he's that character on the back. Yeah, this is a double film, this one. So yeah, we're following him in space for quite a while, and he's trying to keep hold of his sanity, and he only gets to talk to the computer, the onboard ship, and the onboard computer, sorry, and it's pretty interesting stuff. It's quite funny, and it's well written and pretty well acted, to be honest. So that's a bit of a chunk of the start of the film, and then he eventually comes back after like 5 or so years and lands on the planet, and then he's attacked by these pig aliens that now like rule the Earth, but he gets away, finds a settlement, and he's like he's kind of a bit of a folklore hero, this guy. And well, he basically finds the settlement's warrior, which is Dana, and then he goes off to recruit some more help. He's heard of Mad Dog Kelly, this character, who looks, and because I'm sure of the looks, acts remarkably like Sylvester Stallone. It's quite amusing. It's like I'd say B grade, maybe a Z grade, Sylvester Stallone. But he's this like misogynistic warrior kind of thing, and he has his own clan and tribe. And he manages to rope him in. And basically, what they want to do is find this weapon that they can launch, and it will kind of wipe out the aliens. But then there's the kind of the inner turmoil of like, well, what it will do to the human race and stuff like that. So it's kind of, there's some subtext going on here, and it's quite interesting to see how that kind of all pans out. Kind of things that you don't always maybe expect in these micro budget. You think maybe schlocky sci-fi horror films, but this is one with a heart. It's nicely done. Like the acting for what it is kind of above what you'd expect, especially with the main Matt Mittler. I really kind of like what this guy does. And then obviously being Brett Piper, we have some awesome stop motion as well. So there's some stop motion with the ships, but there's also like fight scenes with like different monsters. scorpion monster things and sort of stuff like that. And that just like it's just the Harryhausen kind of effect. Just love anything like that. So it's such an endearing film. It just like drags you in. Like I said, when it first starts off, you're like, my God, this is low budget. But then it's like you kind of sucked into this whole kind of main character, like I said, trying to deal with his sanity, and it's kind of not what I expected. This film, it's lower budget than I probably expected, but it's also better than I expected because it's full length. It's like almost like let me just take the slip off to see if I can see. Great, it says 118 minutes, so it's the combined of the two films, but there you go, 118 minutes, so you know it's basically 90 minutes pretty much each film. So what he manages to do with the budget and create, it doesn't really feel like, I mean, yeah, sure, it could have been trimmed, but it doesn't feel like it particularly drags anywhere. And like I said, you have different things going on. There's like these characters that you're kind of coming across, and they're interesting and well acted and well written, thrown in this stop motion animation, and it makes for like a really cool film. Yeah, I was like really surprised, and so I'm gonna have to, just to slip here, but I'm gonna have to at some point very soon jump onto Mutant War, which is the I think it was the 1988. Oh, wait, okay, sorry, Battle for Lost Planet was 1985, and the Mutant War is 1988 sequel. So I'll be jumping on that pretty soon. So, kind of overall kind of recommendation would be that if you're happy with, you don't have to have these big budget sci-fi films, and this is not an all-out action film either. It's very like character driven and well scripted and interesting, and if you like your like Harryhausen stop motion sort of thing, sci-fi craziness with some horror elements and bits and pieces with crappy masks and just overall a lot of fun, I'd highly recommend this. So schlocky-esque kind of B, C, D movie budget likes, you'll like it. If you're into like just Marvel stuff, anything big screen, this one's not for you. But I'd give this a high recommendation. Very tricky. I was going to think about doing a bit of a rating for this one, and you kind of have to think of kind of almost shot on video sort of thing, even though it's not, but the budget was so small. So overall, I think I'll give this, taking everything into consideration, probably a solid 7 out of 10. But I think Vinegar Syndrome, it's not their cleanest transfer, I must admit, but God knows what they had to work with. So it's pretty solid. You can watch it, it's clear, it's pretty crisp as well. There's elements where it's a bit fuzzy in places, and there's a lot of pixelation and grain and noise added to it to help sharpen bits up. But I'd recommend picking this up from wherever you would get your Vinegar Syndrome titles. Yep. But anyway, thanks very much. Hope you enjoyed the review and the whole week, and we'll get back to you the end of next month with our next theme week, which I will be dropping a thumbnail of in the next couple of weeks. So brilliant. Hope you all have a nice evening, and speak to you next week. Good night.